Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we're just doing a chill sit down video where we want to tell you about an experiment that we did and how it's affected our life. Today we'll get into the pros, cons, reasons as to why we deleted the app Snapchat. We know it's been more than a year, but we just haven't been keeping the exact track. Our overall experience has been good. When it comes down to it, it is a form of social media, and I'm not going to be a broken record. I know you've heard it before. Social media is not healthy for you if you abuse it. And if you're looking at it first thing in the morning. We still have these other social media platforms. We thought we'd start slow. You know, we're not going to delete every single app that we can because that's also not realistic. But yeah, this is in no way us trying to be all high and mighty. Wow, we deleted it. Everyone's got to do this. Like, or we made it. Yeah, but I think it's a good decision personally for the two of us. I think we're extremely detailed and pay attention to how everything makes us feel. So deleting this app isn't a big deal. We just are magnifying it and we're looking at every single little thing and how it's impacted our life. Really, the catalyst for this was Lindsay and I were in a place in life, and maybe you can relate to, where you feel like you're experiencing so much stimulus with phones and everything. We do most of our work online too with social media and stuff, so it's a lot. And we've had Snapchat since we were middle school, high school. It's fun. That's how everyone would interact. It's a weird form of communication that I've honestly never liked. I think we've been kind of programmed to think that it's normal to kind of show your face to 20 different people, and I think that's so cool at the same time. So I'm not trying to really bash on the app, but it's fun when you're snapping your classmates because you all have this inside joke, or you're just sending your friend a bunch of pictures of like clothes that you're trying on and you want her to tell you what she thinks about it. Throughout middle school, high school, it's fun because you're connecting with friends, and that's like such a, I don't know, it's like a juvenile way to connect with people because you're doing the pictures that disappear and you can see what everyone's doing at every single second of the day. You can take one picture and send it to a million people. Everyone gets so much access into your life. And it got to the point where Lindsay and I were very much all or nothing type of people when it comes to anything. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people who can deal with this and it's fine. Like, they don't feel the pressures that we felt, but we just always felt the pressure to open the app, respond to people, and I guess watching people's stories and what everyone's up to, that's a lot. There were moments where we realized we would just turn on the app and kind of, you know, look at our faces, take a picture, like, I don't know. The amount of memories I had, the amount of stuff that was just embarrassing in my eyes only, and not just embarrassing, but a waste. We're both on the same page when we feel like out of sight, out of mind is better than watching people that you feel a sense of FOMO watching them. If my friends post things hanging out together or parties or stuff like that on Instagram stories or whatever, like, I can look at that now and genuinely feel nothing, like just detached, like, oh, okay, that's what they're doing. But there was a time in my life when I would look at things like that and I would envy or wish I would be participating. And you see, I stopped that right then and there, and I was like, I hate this. I don't like the way it's making me feel. Social media can be bad for you in large amounts, especially when it's the first thing you look at in the morning and stuff. And we have Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So we thought, you know, we're not gonna get rid of everything because that's unrealistic, and we still like it. We like connecting with people and posting and stuff. So we thought, what's the least effective app that we have on our phone? Snapchat. You have iMessage. Yeah, I was just going to say that was also the catalyst to delete, was because we had that mentality, which is, if you want to reach me, you'll reach me. So I think a lot of the friendships and connections that we've made on Snapchat that were solely held and based in Snapchat were not genuine ones, and I haven't heard from those people since I probably like deleted the app in the first place. Not to like place any importance on that at all, but it kind of shows you it's a lot of just extra mindless stuff, connection with people, and we didn't like that. We didn't want mindless connection. It felt phony. It got to the point where we realized we didn't want people having that much access into our lives. How are you supposed to keep anything private? Because when you're like us, we like to share things, hence this channel and our TikTok and Instagram and all that. And so we realized we just should not have this extra form of media. Reason number 2, we felt vain. And this is gonna sound almost a little hypocritical, but we can admit that we've been vain. We post photos of ourselves on Instagram, not necessarily out of being vain, but just it all comes down to it. Social media is a very superficial thing, whether or not our intentions are to be vain. And the other reason was Lindsay and I were meeting lots of new people. We were going out a lot, and I realized we were just talking to people that we didn't necessarily have to be in touch with, and it was just so easy because they pop up alongside everyone else, like in your friends list. So that app is really easy to just send pictures of people that you don't even technically care about and that don't share the same care for you. Like, you wouldn't really nurture the friendship other than keeping a streak, and that just felt wrong and unnatural. And yeah, we're being a little dramatic with that because there are a lot of people that don't take it that deep. Reason number 3, being in the moment. We realized that it's so easy to respond on Snapchat, a lot easier than iMessage, because it goes away, you're not really held super accountable. You could do a picture, you could do a text, anything. And we realized even when we'd be out with friends, we would answer to these random people who aren't even there with us. And I realized how valuable quality time is, for me at least. And so I don't necessarily like to be with people who, when they're spending time with me, they're spending time with someone else. And I guess you can still do that with iMessage, you can still do it with Instagram, like all these apps. So it's not just that app, but that app, Snapchat, made it so much easier to be less in the moment and be entertaining people that aren't even in front of you. It just adds to the fact that we all have phones in our hands, and we're not trying to say, oh, we're never on our phones, we're always present, because we're not. We're not, but the thing is, we deleted this app because we're trying to be more present, and I feel like you have to take baby steps. So reason number 4, I guess, is the endorphins and the lack of endorphins you get from notifications. We all get the whole being left on red, or your crush snapping you, or watching the story. Yeah, it's just such a false sense of happiness and excitement. And ooh, can I say something that might be a little rude? Reason number 5, I hate that it's what guys will ask for. And the sound of that, it's just, you can agree, it's just immature. I'm not saying you can't have Snapchat as an adult, or you can't be mature and have Snapchat. Obviously you can't, but I'm like, just ask for the number. It's more private when you're asking for the number too. So the pros since deleting, we have less screen time, we're not on our phones as much, but it's just one less form of media to worry about, one less thing to think about in the morning, because I used to check that stuff all the time in the morning. Oh, who did I get? And then you'd wake up and you'd be like, oh, I have no notifications, or I only have this many, and it does something subconsciously whether you like it or not. And believe it or not, iMessage doesn't do that. Another pro is just clarity in your mind. We've felt a lot more, I don't know, present and happy since deleting the app. It also goes to show you that, because that's an app that almost everyone uses, it shows you that you can miss out on things like that. Like, you're not really missing out. So you don't have to have this because everyone else has this, and you don't have to feel left out because they're not connecting with you anymore, because, oh, you can live without it. We got to the point where we just pretty much wanted to take ourselves seriously, because we haven't been doing that for the longest time. But just having that quick access of talking to people and kind of looking at their messages but not letting them see that you looked at their messages, it's kind of very, or waiting a certain amount to respond. Yeah, it's mind games. It's just mind games, and it felt very juvenile, and so we thought it's time to just kind of let ourselves feel more respected, in the sense of just not giving so many people so much access to our daily lives. And then just to disclaim, a lot of people can probably keep this app and not feel this way about it, not abuse it for sure. Yeah. But that's just us. Now let's get into the con of not having the app. I guess basically you lose connection with certain people, but then again, I can turn that into a pro, because in the long run you're cutting meaningless connections, and that's fine. It's okay to not keep in touch with people that you don't actually know in real life. It allows you to focus on the people in your life now, and to focus on yourself a little more too. Also, the fact that we're never gonna get that app again, like we just made up our minds, we don't need it, doesn't mean that it'll only be effective if you delete it for good. You can always delete an app and then get it again, and it kind of dilutes the craving for the app. Like, I deleted my TikTok for probably like 6-7 months, got it again, and now I use it, but I don't aimlessly scroll. I just use it to film TikToks for myself, or to check once in a while what other people are doing. You can always delete something and then clear your mind, get used to not having it, and then go back and use it moderately. I think that's effective as well. I guess now it's just a good time to share this video and these thoughts, because I know the Snapchat stock is going down. I know people are using it less and less. I'm sure there's people who are still keeping their snaps out there and keeping connections with people. It's just really good to stay connected, and I'm not at all for cutting people off or isolating yourself. Or isolating, because I don't think, there's seasons where maybe it's good, but I don't think that's good in the long run. Connection's beautiful. Yeah, that's like the best part of life, and we cherish all our friends and all our memories and pictures and photos. We also went through all our memories on Snapchat before deleting the app, and we saved all the really funny, memorable, good things from trips or school. We put those all in a folder, like on our computers, so it's not like we erased everything, but we saved the important stuff. It's kind of good to have less. I don't think it's that natural to look at yourself so often, and we do it enough in everyday life, like in the mirror and even in our phone cameras sometimes. Like we expressed, there's pros and there's cons, but when it comes down to it, it made us feel better. So, and I would love to delete Instagram. I'm not going to. I like the app too much too, and it doesn't actually harm me. Well, I think that deleting Instagram would be good for us a year ago, because we were in a worse space, but now we're kind of both in the space where we use it and we don't let it use us. Yeah. So that's just us sharing our story and our 2 cents on Snapchat. Hopefully we articulated things well. We have not written any notes out for this video, which we probably should have. It's just a cluster of thoughts that we spilled on you guys. If there's anything, and this just goes for life, if there's anything that makes you feel bad and you just feel yourself being a consumer to it, just get rid of it. Just detox. It's not that important.